So CCS stands for carbon capture and storage. Sometimes you will see the phrase CCUS, where the U stands for utilization, where you try to find some other use for the carbon. I kind of set that aside for a little bit and let's just focus on the CCS part. So carbon capture and storage is right now there are point sources throughout America. It might be an electric power generating plant, might be a chemical plant, might be an ethanol plant that today is putting CO2 that comes out of the process in that plant. It just puts it into the air, just dumps it into the air. That is what many folks believe is leading to global warming, that the high levels of concentration in the air. So to combat that, now CCS says we're going to capture that CO2 before it gets into the air. And so capturing involves usually a chemical process, though sometimes there's other, there's new technology developing that may be able to capture it in other ways, but primarily it's a chemical process that grabs a hold of all of the carbon dioxide molecules that are otherwise being put into the air, and it brings it all into one location, into one vessel, if you will. And it's basically you try to get all of the CO2 that you can and put it into a pure state of carbon dioxide gas. And of course, you have it in a vessel. Now, after that, though, and this is where I joke, CCS really should be CCTS, which is not a great joke, but CCTS is carbon capture, transportation and storage, because a lot of times the S is storage, and we want to put that means we want to put the CO2 in the ground, but that's not always, in fact, many times it's not located where you capture it. So you have to put it in a pipeline and transport it. Now, it might be 5 miles, it might be 500 miles. So transportation is what I call the second leg of the stool. So you have the capture side, the first leg of the stool. You have the second leg is transportation, where you put it in pipelines, and we talk about this in this episode. And then the third is storage, where the storage operator will take that pure stream of CO2 from the pipeline. They'll pressure it up to about 2,500 psi, pounds per square inch, and inject, because at that point it becomes a liquid. It's not exactly, but it becomes a liquid, and you put it down the hole, and you will pump it literally 2 miles down hole, not 500 feet, not in drinking water range, but you'll pump it down a well, and you'll put it into rock that is currently, and this is not always the case, but most applications for CCS in the United States are putting into rock that is filled with salt water. So this is very, very hard rock that's 2 miles below the surface of the ground. And it basically just displaces that salt water. And then over time, it actually blends with the salt water. And then even in more time, it blends with the rocks. So it becomes permanently stored in the rocks. So that's the CCS part of it.